So, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel where we discuss all things golfing and streetwear. And before we get into today's video, I just wanted to quickly address a couple of things real quick before we move forward. And the first thing I wanted to address is the change of scenery that we're going to have with all videos moving forward. As you all can probably tell, I'm not in the typical setup for videos that all of you are probably used to. And that's because I've finally done something that I've been talking about on the channel for a really long time. I've finally moved into my own place. I have an apartment with a couple of my friends. And pretty much this whole entire last month has been really hectic for me. 95% of that was because that I was gearing up to move out soon. So now that I'm finally kind of settled into my place a little bit, you should be seeing videos a lot more regularly on the channel than you're used to. As you all know, I used to upload a video every single week on the channel, but uploads have been a little bit spotty over these past couple of weeks. And the reason for that was me gearing up to get my own place. So I really do apologize for that. I hope that you guys understand. Just moving into a new city and kind of being on my own, all those kinds of things, it presented a whole new set of challenges for me and just a lot of things that I needed to get settled before I could start focusing back on the channel again. But I'm very happy to be back. Like I said, I should be uploading back on my regular schedule. Once again, very sorry for my absence, but I'm very happy to be back. So with all that being said, guys, let's go ahead and get straight into the video. And as you can tell by the title of this video, I'm going to be telling you guys how to properly take care of all of your different streetwear items. So someone left a comment on one of my videos. I can't remember if it was my last upload or the upload before, but I'll have that comment right here down below. Shout out to you for giving me the idea for this video. And the truth is, I had actually been wanting to do a video like this for a really long time on the channel. I'm just teaching you guys how to properly take care of all of your streetwear items. I've been collecting streetwear pieces since 2017, so almost 5 years now. And over the course of those 5 years, through a lot of trial and error, I learned how to properly take care of a lot of different streetwear items. And one thing with streetwear pieces is they're of course very expensive. So when you spend a lot of money on these pieces, you obviously want to keep them in the best condition possible for as long as possible. So this video is going to be a very simple set of instructions for you guys to follow on how you can best take care of your streetwear pieces. And now, kicking off this list, the first and honestly the most important thing for you to do when taking care of any streetwear items that you have is to follow the instructions on the tag. So on every single piece that you buy, it will have care instructions on the tag. So the way to find these instructions on whatever piece you're buying, it's a very simple process. 90% of the time when you buy a piece, the instructions will be on the tag of the shirt, but just in case the instructions for your item are not on the shirt, they'll be a little bit more down towards the body of the shirt, somewhere down in this area. And this is more common on cut and sew pieces like maybe cardigans, button-ups, different kind of jackets, things like that. For items like t-shirts and hoodies, you're going to find the instructions on the size tag. These instructions will vary depending on what type of piece that you buy. For certain cut and sew pieces, you might have to take them to the dry cleaners, and for a lot of pieces, it'll tell you not to put them in the dryer, or if your piece is able to be thrown in the dryer, it'll tell you what setting to dry it on, different things like that. That's the most surefire way to make sure that your piece stays in great condition. But just in case your item doesn't have instructions on how to take care of it, that leads me into my second point, which is the easiest general rule of thumb to follow when it comes to taking care of your streetwear pieces, and that is washing your item in cold water and also washing it inside out. So whenever you go and look at your washer, all washers are different, so there might be a little bit of a different process for finding this on your washer, but on your washer there will be a setting somewhere on there where you can adjust what temperature you wash your clothes on. And I literally wash all of my clothes in cold water regardless of the piece, whether it be like a really expensive golf t-shirt, a really cheap plain white t-shirt, some sort of hoodie, socks, underwear. It doesn't matter. I only wash my clothes in cold water. I literally stay away from washing my clothes in warm water whatsoever. The reason I do this is there's a lot of different ways that heat can mess up your clothes. It can mess up graphics, and depending on the piece, over time, if you constantly wash it in warm water, it can make it less and less durable. Another thing I want to talk about is I was under the impression that warm water got your clothes cleaner than cold water, and I was really worried about my clothes, not getting as clean as they should be. So I did a lot of research into it, and it's actually untrue that warm water gets your clothes cleaner than cold water. So don't worry about that. You're going to get the same results using cold water as you would typically be used to washing in warm water. And that actually brings me into my third point, and that is that whenever you dry your clothes, make sure you hang dry them. Like I said just a second ago, heat is really bad for certain types of clothes. It's honestly the worst on anything with graphics on it. So the best way to avoid getting cracks on your graphics and to avoid your graphics fading and things like that is to not put them in the dryer at all. It might take a little bit longer, but your clothes will get perfectly dry if you put them on a hanger, hang them up somewhere in your room, hang them up on like your shower rod, just pretty much anywhere you can hang dry your clothes. Just let them hang, and your pieces will be a lot more durable and last a whole lot longer than they would if you were throwing them in the dryer. And that brings me to my fourth point, if you must dry your item, use as little heat as possible. Just like we talked about on the washers earlier, there should be a setting on your dryer where you can adjust what temperature you dry your clothes in. And you know, I honestly don't hang dry every single piece that I have. The only pieces I own that I actually hang dry are different graphic t-shirts, button-ups, jackets, things like that. All those types of pieces are the type that you want to be hang drying. Honestly, when it comes to any item other than that, whether it be like a blank white t-shirt, whether it be socks or certain types of bottoms, I wash them in my dryer on the lowest heat setting possible. And that's because on pieces like that, heat won't do as much damage to them, so you can kind of get away with throwing them in the dryer as long as you aren't drying them on like a really hot temperature. And now coming in at my fifth point, which is another very important point that a lot of people overlook, and that's how to properly store your clothes. The first thing that I want to address is actually the type of hangers you guys should be buying. Now, hands down, the best type of hangers for you to buy when hanging up any type of streetwear item that you have are wooden hangers. Easily wooden hangers are the best, whether you're hanging up a suit or really heavy like puffer or Letterman jacket, whether you're hanging up certain t-shirts, wooden hangers, you know, are easily the best type of hangers for you guys to buy. The only problem is wooden hangers can get a little bit pricey. That's why 90% of the time people opt to buy plastic hangers. And honestly, if you guys must buy plastic hangers, there's a specific type of plastic hanger that you should be buying. And I actually have a couple of examples to show you guys really quick. The hangers that I don't recommend that you buy are actually the plastic hangers that come with these little indents in them. Now, the reason that these are actually on hangers is just in case you need to hang up anything that has straps on them. So whether you're trying to hang up a dress or anything like that, then this type of hanger probably would be the best for you, because the straps actually dip down into these little hooks here and actually keeps the straps from sliding off the hanger. So if you have any sort of item like that, then this type of hanger would be right for you. The only reason it's bad for hanging up different t-shirts and button-ups, especially if you're hang drying your item, is that the collar of the shirt usually sits like kind of around this area, and it bends the collar in like a really awkward way. And honestly, the truth is, most of the time, if your shirts are already dried before you hang them up, it usually won't make too much of a difference. The only time it really messes with the collar of the t-shirt is when you actually dry it on the hanger, because your shirts are actually going to dry like in whatever position you hang them in. Because over time, if you constantly hang dry your t-shirts and you have the collar sitting down in this little divot right here, the collar of the shirt will start to stick up on the sides in this really weird shape. And you honestly probably won't notice it at first, but like I said, over time, it will start to make the collar look really weird. So honestly, the best thing to do is to just completely avoid buying any sort of hanger that has this little indent in it. You can actually pick up really cheap plastic hangers like this, which has the hooks on the inside, which I think is the best option, because you can still hang up anything that might have straps on it, and you can also hang your t-shirts up without having to worry about messing up the collar. And to be honest, guys, like I said, wood hangers probably are the best, but these are the type of hangers that I've been buying for years, and I haven't had any sort of problems with them. So I definitely recommend buying hangers like these. But if you have the money, wood hangers are definitely worth the investment. Honestly, guys, you should avoid hanging up any sort of sweaters. And the reason for this is that any sort of sweater or knit type item is really sensitive to hangers, and it will mess up the shoulders of your hanger and stretch out the collar really fast, especially on cardigans. So the best thing to do if you own any sweaters is to fold them up and store them in like a drawer or a dresser, anything like that. And when you buy a sweater, I also don't recommend hang drying it either. The best way to dry a sweater is to still not put it in the dryer. Find some sort of table or something like that and lay it completely flat to dry. That way you can still avoid hanging up your sweater, but you're still avoiding heat, because heat is also really bad for sweaters and different things like that as well. But moving on to my last point, I'm going to tell you guys how to properly get stains out of any streetwear item that you have. And if by some chance any of you guys get any sort of stains on your clothes, the best thing to do is to wash it literally as soon as you can. The worst thing for any type of item is to let the stain sink in. I know that a lot of the time you can't help it. You might be out and about and you can't really get home immediately, but the best thing to do is to wash it literally as soon as you can. And if you have a really bad stain on your item, I recommend picking this cleaning product up called Spray and Wash. This is a laundry stain remover, which is really similar to Shout, which is another really great stain remover to buy as well. But if you guys can find it, I personally recommend picking up this type of product, because this one works a lot better in cold water than Shout does. I don't know if you can see on the bottle, but it says it removes stains even in cold water. And Shout is also a great cleaning product that also can probably clean really well in cold water. But this product is actually cheaper, and for me personally has worked a little bit better at getting my stains out in cold water than Shout did. This is honestly a really easy cleaning product to use. As you guys know, I wear white t-shirts literally all the time, and those are obviously really prone to getting different types of stains in them and things like that. So all you do is you take the product and you spray it on the stain a little bit, and it says on the bottle to just kind of rub the product into the stain. But honestly, what I do is I take some sort of like soft bristle toothbrush or any sort of soft bristle brush that you might have, and I brush the cleaner into the stain a little bit, let it sit for 5 minutes, wash it like you normally would, and it literally works like a charm. 95% of the time it'll be like the stain was never even there in the first place. So I definitely recommend going to the store and picking up some of this or some Shout. Both of them will work really, really well getting stains out of anything. And honestly guys, I understand that a lot of these points might seem a little tedious, but if you want to keep all your streetwear items in the best condition for as long as possible, these are really the most simple and honestly some of the best ways to keep your item looking brand new for as long as possible. But I really hope this video helps you guys out a lot. Definitely comment below and let me know any sort of other tips and tricks that you might have that I didn't list in this video that you've noticed that works really, really well for you on your items. I would love to hear anything that you guys do personally. I will be doing an unboxing video of my new Golf Wang items literally as soon as I get them. I'm still waiting on Golf to ship those items. It's been very, very close to a month and I still haven't got my item shipped, which honestly really, really sucks because there's some pieces that I've wanted to get my hands on for a while. But I will be posting an unboxing video for those items literally as soon as I get them in the mail. But like I said guys, that's going to do it for this video. As always, if you like this kind of content and you would like to see more, definitely like this video and subscribe to the channel. I have a ton of golf and streetwear content coming moving forward. Thank you guys so much for checking this out. I'll see you in the next one.